All right, what's up, y'all? So today we're talking survival and emergency preparedness. I got something really exciting to share with you guys. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be stranded somewhere? Have you ever wondered about your capabilities if you were in a situation where you were completely on your own, out of your comfort zone, out of your element? Maybe you've been nervous about what you would do or how you'd handle yourself in some kind of a weird, awkward situation like that. Or if you're like me, like I always think, like, what would I do if there was a citywide or statewide or nationwide disaster? Like, am I ready for something like that? So we're not worst case scenario thinkers. We're just practical realists. You know, we want to be prepared to the best of our abilities. And like many things, I think it just takes a little bit of intention, maybe some professional guidance to have a lot of confidence in this area. So imagine what it would feel like to know that you could handle yourself if you were stranded somewhere. Imagine what it would feel like to know that you're prepared if something were to happen. So if you're a beginner to outdoors and survival type stuff, this is going to be something really worthwhile checking out. If you've got some experience, you're like an outdoors enthusiast or maybe even survival enthusiast, we've got some instruction coming from a really great top-notch organization, and it's all going to be packed into a 2-day workshop intensive. So what I want to do today is just share a little bit about what I would consider some good steps to get you on the path to feeling confident about being outdoors in some difficult situations, and also share the details of this event we have coming up. So like many of you, for most of my life, you know, I've dabbled a little bit camping here and there. Before going into the military, family camping with my dad was the most I would ever do. When I was in the military, we did some camping. You know, I was an infantry enlisted soldier and commissioned officer for a little bit, but we didn't really rough it that much. I mean, we were always with a big group of people, and I think we had conveniences that you might not have if you were actually out surviving in the wild. Since being on this real food journey, though, I can tell you that I have so much confidence in my personal health and what I need to do to be healthy. It's been a natural progression for me to also want to nurture this capacity to survive on my own. And I'm not sure what it is. I think it's primordial in us, just like eating real food is primordial in us, and fitness and sleep, and it should feel primordial to us. There's something in me, and I think something in a lot of us that drives this desire to be self-reliant. And the more time I spend outdoors, the more time I spend hiking, the more time I spend camping, the more confident I get in just being outdoors in general, and the more I realize that my overall happiness in part comes from this confidence and this independence that I get from pushing the comfort zone as far as being outside. And I think the problem is that most of us just don't even know where to turn for some good instruction on how to develop this confidence. And so this would be what I would consider to be my 4-step kind of framework for developing confidence and independence from being outdoors. So the first thing that you want to focus on is just getting out and hiking on a regular basis. And regular basis is relative. You know, maybe that's once every few months for you right now. But over time, maybe increasing the frequency and the duration and the length of the hikes, so that you're consciously thinking about, you know, the weather that you're going to be involved in, how much water you have to take, whether you have to take food or how much food, you know, considering the 10 essentials. Hiking in and of itself, I think, is very empowering. And then once you've done some hiking, I think the natural progression is to start to get into camping. And I think, again, if it's progression based, you'd start with just car camping, you know, glamping, something that's very easy and doable, and then eventually transitioning to where you make things a little bit more restrictive and a little bit more challenging, eventually getting to the point where you can do some backpacking. That's where I'm at right now. I'm doing some backpacking trips this year, and my main goal behind it is to gain some self-confidence in knowing that I can handle myself outdoors. Then, after you've gotten comfortable with camping, I think it would be great to move into some survival skills, you know, going through some courses, and then eventually learning how to prepare for a disaster. So what we've got coming up, we've got a really great organization coming over from California. It's called Cone Survival, or Coney Survival. I actually need to find out from them how they say that. COYNE Survival. All right, so This organization is led by a bunch of amazing people. They've got first responders, military veterans, graduates from other survival course instructor programs, and their training is all based on real world application, like real world relevance. They want to make people feel confident and comfortable in dealing with some difficult emergency situations. Some of the people that they've worked with, a lot of government agencies, the Marine Corps, the Army, the Air Force, the Department of Defense, the History Channel, Discovery Channel. They work with Facebook. They've worked with the LAPD, with CNN. So they have a really, really great reputation for teaching some really, really great top-notch classes. And they specify, and I have too, when I went and reached out to them, I said, hey, look, the majority of the people that come to this class are going to be complete beginners, and they're not going to have any experience in being outdoors. And they said, that's the kind of people that we like. They're the people that are most eager to learn. And so if you think that this is something that you can't do, well, I'm here to tell you, this is designed specifically for you. It's designed to give you some confidence starting from a place of almost nothing, all right? And this is not something that's going to be like a hazing situation where you're going to be made to suffer on purpose. It's going to be a lot of instruction and a lot of hands-on. All right, so this is a 2-day intensive. We're kicking this off on Saturday, April 24th. We're going to be meeting here at my office, and we'll be taking off from here at 8 a.m., heading down to Level Canyon to a great little camping spot. And that's going to begin the survival part of this 2-day intensive. And so for the full day, we're going to be getting a lot of great instruction. Some of the things that we're going to cover are fire making in any weather situation, water purification considerations, how to construct a shelter, emergency signaling, how to identify, exposure to the elements and what to do, like with hypothermia and some cold situations. And then we'll review the most common outdoor emergencies that happen so that we know how to deal with those different things. And we'll also talk about how to prepare a emergency readiness kit, like how to have something available so that if you're out in the field or out camping or out hiking, you've got the basics that you need to be covered for emergency situations. We're going to finish that day with optional camping, so that evening we can sleep in the shelter that we make ourselves for ourselves, or we have like a little kind of campground area. If you want to bring your tent or your personal camping equipment, then we can just camp in our normal stuff. We'll have a fire, we'll eat real food, and that part of it's completely optional. You can pack up and go home after the class if you want to. All right, so for the second day on April 25th, we'll meet back here at the office in the space of the CrossFit Combine. Starting at 9 a.m., we're going to have an all-day intensive, and this is going to be all about preparing for an urban disaster. All right, their motto is, don't be scared, be prepared. So in this all-day intensive, we're going to learn about medical considerations, how to pack a med kit, what to do for first aid for yourself and other people. We'll talk about improvised power generation, especially if something like the power grid goes out. We'll talk about evacuation considerations, when to evacuate and when to shelter in place. We'll talk about how to obtain water and how to make sure that water is clean and sanitized in the event of an urban disaster. We'll talk about food storage and preparation considerations for emergencies. We'll talk about hygiene considerations, especially if the power grid goes out. Talk about understanding how to deal with civil disturbances and riots and how to defend yourself in a situation like that. We'll also talk about how to pack a go bag or a bug out bag so that you have that ready just in case. We'll also talk about how to obtain other supplies that might be really important in a situation like that, and we're going to talk about a whole lot more. So this is 2 days of a lot of great, powerful information. These guys are coming all the way over from California. It's $400 for these 2-day intensive. Again, that first day, Saturday, April 24th, we're going to be leaving the office here at 8 a.m., heading out to Level Canyon to learn survival skills, optional camping in the evening, and then Sunday, the second day, April 25th, 9 a.m., meeting back here at the office for an all-day intensive on urban disaster. Now, just imagine having the clarity from learning from some experts. And even though you may never need to use these skills, imagine the confidence and independence that you'll have just from going through this information and getting some hands-on experience. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. Remember, we get 2 days of instruction, we get a lot of hands-on work, and then we have Saturday evening optional camping, which is going to be fun. It always is. Sitting by a fire, having some real food, getting up the next day and having a great little class on urban disaster. Okay, so RSVP through the link that we're giving you guys here. We hope to see you there. We've only got, I think, 6 spots left. All right, so jump on them quick.